All right, watch this video and then we'll talk. I will be covering the lady's face for reasons that I will explain at the end of the video.
Well, I have an update. It's not good. I'm fucking pissed. Try not to cry. I got a letter last week that said I might have lead in my water from my neighborhood. So I got my lead tested on Friday and we got the results back, and my lead is 5 ppb over the legal limit. So the legal limit in Houston, Texas is 15 and mine is 20. So I'm livid. I have been drinking this water for 6 months. 6 months of my pregnancy. Apparently, they only test the water every 3 years. So I've been drinking lead water for 3 years. For those of you who don't know, if you drink lead water while you're pregnant, it can cause harm to your unborn child. So I wish they would have told me sooner that I have lead in my water, but unfortunately, they just didn't. I work from home, so I drink this water constantly. I drink from the tap, and I had a filter on it. Apparently this filter doesn't work. So I'm just kind of at a loss of words right now. So here's where I'm confused. The city sent me this letter and said I might have water or lead in my water, but I'm not in their testing zone. So I don't understand why I got this letter. And I feel like they're being dodgy, and I feel like they're being insincere to kind of dodge any legal action. Because they said the last time they tested was 2023, and they only test every 3 years, so the next test will be in 2026, which I find hard to believe. But it's 2025, so why am I getting this letter? I don't understand any of it, and I'm working with people to help me better understand this situation. The only thing that is keeping me from losing my shit is this blood test. And the reason why is because if you have a healthy diet, if you eat a lot of calcium and you take your iron and you take your prenatals, it can help counterbalance and push out any lead in your system. Lead doesn't just like exist in your bloodstream, it builds up over time. So you may ingest a lot of lead, but it might not necessarily like be heavily in your bloodstream. It builds up. It's not something that's just like there. So that's the only thing keeping me from losing my absolute shit. And I'm probably not even like making sense right now. But yeah, I don't know. If you know anything about this, if you're a scientist, if you're a doctor, or if you've had this experience, any advice would be appreciated. Because I'm losing my mind, and everyone around me seems to be like, no, your baby's gonna be fine, everything's gonna be fine, but I just don't find that to be realistic. And I need someone to, just some support of any kind,
So why am I covering this lady's face? Because with the amount of lead that she has been ingesting, who's to say what is going to happen to the fetus that she has? Wishing her nothing but the best, but also with Texas having some of the strictest abortion rights, which also means like when it comes to getting health care, it is incredibly hard for women, pregnant people, to get healthcare over there without their rights being infringed upon or potentially being jailed. So just in case something were to happen to the fetus, I don't want this video being used as a means of like tracking her down. This is the kind of headspace that we have to be in now. Now, this is not a video to attack her or to attack other people that are in this situation. This is more of a video to share a little bit more background as to some of the numerous reasons why I have chosen to be child-free, especially before I was able to like establish myself long-term somewhere that has healthcare where they realize that people are people. And let me be clear, even though I am living in a country that has good healthcare and respects the fact that people are people, I will still choose to not have children. So one, Texas has had some of the strictest like women's healthcare, abortion laws, all of that, since I think 2022. So this isn't a brand new thing, but it just has been getting worse, especially since the nightmare was reinvigorated, there we go, in the beginning of 2020. Oh my God, it's only 2025 still. This has been such a long year. Also, and shout out to Dominic for writing this, federal grant cuts hit environmental justice and health equity projects in Houston. The city's health department lost about $62 million in grant funding, while $67 million in cuts affected 11 anti-pollution projects across 13 coastal counties. Hey, you know what? Let's just keep reading. Also, make a note that this is from May. So we're just going to like skip around a little bit, but I do want us just to remember that along with so many other like federal programs that are meant to help, keep the environment alive, keep civilians alive, the EPA is one of those that has been cut by the millions. Also, if we skip down a little bit, the department, which I think the antecedent of that is the Houston Health Department, also faces $2.3 million in reduced funding from the city's $3 billion general fund under Mayor John Whitmer's proposed budget. Environmental justice impacts coastal nonprofits focused on environmental justice and anti-pollution efforts also face staggering cuts. So Jennifer's talking about how, as relates to the Air Alliance of Houston, a loss of $3 million for that program. Now the article continues. And in its continuing, it talks about more programs that are being cut in Houston alone. Now, I have said this in many videos before, but what happens to the most marginalized of us will eventually happen to all of us. And I have also said that the United States is just repeating United States history. Yes, there will be a lot of overlaps with what has happened in World War II. But the United States is also just repeating our history and expanding the amount of people that have been getting the Black and Indigenous treatment. What do I mean by this? In this article by the NAACP titled Environmental and Climate Justice Issue Brief Clean Water, we read that access to clean water is both a major necessity and a major public health issue with significant implications for community well-being, economic stability, and social justice. Many communities, especially the Black community and others that are historically marginalized, suffer from inadequate water infrastructure, leading to water contamination and health crises. The lack of clean water, and I'll just move myself up and over here, but the amount, oh my goodness, the amount of Black communities that have been inundated with lead, like the pipes are full of lead, there are food deserts or food swamps, this has been a thing that we have been struggling with. Flint, Michigan still does not have clean water. Do you guys remember her? Do you remember this lady? Mariana Copany? I think I'm pronouncing her last name right. This is Little Miss Flint. Little Miss Flint is now an adult. For the entirety that she has been when did she start being Little Miss Flint? I think that was when she was like 6 years old, like 5, 6 years old, something like that. She has been advocating for Flint to get water, clean, drinkable water, for the majority of her life. And now she can vote. Now she's an adult in the eyes of the law, and Flint still does not have clean water. This has been the reality for countless Black and brown communities across the United States. Now, other people are just realizing, oh no, this is an issue for me. This is an issue for my pregnancy. This is an issue for my, and this is not to like bash the lady that was in the beginning of this video. I'm just saying, as a child-free person, there are multiple reasons to be child-free. And I'm going to say more specifically, in the United States, why bring no, this lady is already pregnant. She is already pregnant. I'm not talking to her. I am talking to the people that are watching this right now, or who are in communities with people right now who are trying to have kids, who really, really, really want a little nugget on their own. Why bring children into a society that is actively poisoning you, that intentionally and personally wants you dead? You want to have kids so bad? You really, really want to have kids so bad? Go somewhere where it's safe to have kids. This clean water issue, that's not just a Flint and a Houston issue. The air pollution is not just a Houston issue. It's not a specific place. You will go have kids be tortured by the medical care system, especially if you are a Black woman. You can be permanently disabled. Lord knows how they treat, not Lord knows, disabled people know how disabled people are treated in the United States. You want to know what it's like to be permanently disabled in the United States, especially after you've given birth? Watch a couple TikToks. Watch a couple of TikToks. And then you go, you have that kid. Oh my goodness. There's also rampant patriarchy. Have you done the internal work to help manage and facilitate the growth of a human being so that way they can dismantle the patriarchy and the racism and the misogyny and the misogynoir and the homophobia that they are being born into in the society so that way they could be a functional member of society? Oh, but also they're going to be going to school soon. And one thing about school, kids are having active shooter drills. Why? Because there are active shooters that are targeting kids everywhere across the United States. I just need folks to critically think about this for a little bit. Stop having kids. And you know what? Even if you were to go somewhere, and be like, oh, well, you know what? It is better to have kids here. The earth is boiling. And this is coming from somebody who loves kids. I love kids. I love other people's babies. I love to squeeze and hug a baby, mentor and enrich the life of a baby. The world is boiling. There's a lot that needs to be handled right now. There is a global decline in the rate of children being born for good reason. Multiple reasons. Please. My goodness. Just stop, please. Okay, you know what? I gotta get out of bed. At the end of the day, you are allowed to do whatever it is that you want. Pay attention, especially if you're in the United States, pay attention to what is happening. Not just in I know that there's a lot happening, and they're trying to overwhelm you. Arguably, they are overwhelming you. Not trying, successfully overwhelming so many people. That's not your fault. It is all part of the plan. Try to stay as informed as you can. I'm going to do my best to share as much information on here, but good God, because what is happening across the country that you think might not affect you, it will. It will. So, that is all for now. Stay safe out there, and stay sane out there. Yeah, I think that's all for now. Okay, bye.